Hello everyone, I'm Geek Freak and welcome to the video. Okay, I'm just going to get straight to the point of this video. A few weeks ago, I watched Godzilla King of the Monsters and I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a cool movie and it was awesome to see Rodan and Mothra and King Ghidorah. And when I saw the ending credits where it's hinted that Kong and Godzilla will fight, I was like, oh crap, King Kong vs Godzilla, that's something I want to watch. And then later on, I looked on the internet and sure enough, there will be a King Kong vs Godzilla film, or Godzilla vs Kong. And the reason why I was looking forward to this was because I did see the original film where Godzilla faced off against King Kong in the 60s film. And also, it is hinted that we might be getting some more monsters after King Kong vs Godzilla in the same universe as Kong and Godzilla. And you know what? I hope this is true. I hope we get to see other monsters like Gamera. I would love to see Gamera in the MonsterVerse alongside Kong and Godzilla. And also, I hope we get to see more of Godzilla's old enemies and Kong's old enemies and Gamera's old enemies. That would be awesome. Or hell, for all we know, the people who's making these movies might actually bring in other monsters from other movies and series, like the Giant Claw, or Reptilicus, or the Giant Troll from Troll Hunter. There are loads of possibilities of what they could do with the MonsterVerse. And if this is the case, I look forward to something like this happening. But this isn't the reason why I made this video. I've already made 1 or 2 videos about this. The real reason why I made this video is because I want to talk about how toxic the Godzilla fanbase is. Now before anybody stops watching this video, I just want you guys just to listen to me and hear me out of what I have to say. I'm more of a Kong fan than I am a Godzilla fan, but that doesn't mean I hate Godzilla. In fact, I respect Godzilla. In fact, I see Godzilla as one of the greatest kaijus or giant monsters of all time. Godzilla has had a lot of movies, he's faced off against loads of monsters, and even though some of his movies look cheesy, those movies are awesome because Godzilla is in them. And even though sometimes in his movies that he can be a bit goofy, I said some of them, not all of them, like that dance scene in one of his movies, or how he was laughing at Rodan because he got sprayed by Mothra. Anyways, I'm getting off track. I have a lot of respect for Godzilla. And if you guys was to twist my arm and ask me, okay Geek Freak, which one is your favourite kaiju or giant monster movie? Well, my favourite kaiju has to be Gamera. I mean, come on, a giant flying turtle that fires fireballs and can use the Earth's mana to regenerate himself or fire a blast? For me, I think Gamera is the more awesome monster. But again, that doesn't mean I hate Godzilla. I just think that Gamera is the cooler looking monster. And when it comes to Godzilla vs King Kong, I am going to be siding with Kong. And there's a few reasons why I'm going to be siding with Kong. Number 1, he's relatable and he's sympathetic. Kong is more relatable to humans, so we can understand him a little bit more. And Kong seems to be more open to helping humans, as long as you treat him with respect. Unlike Godzilla, who's just a force of nature. And Godzilla doesn't care if he has to squash a baby in order to get to his target. So yeah, I made it crystal clear that I don't hate Godzilla and I respect him. And I do see Godzilla as one of the greatest giant monsters of all time. I made it clear that I like Gamera more. And I made it clear that I'll be siding with King Kong in the upcoming fight of Kong vs Godzilla. Or Godzilla vs King Kong. And I'll be honest, I really hope that Kong beats Godzilla. Not because I hate Godzilla, but because I think Kong deserves it. In one of my previous videos, I said that Kong, Godzilla, Gamera, and Mothra should be recognized as the 4 alphas. Godzilla keeps the Titans in check, Kong is the king of Skull Island and the protector of humanity, Gamera is the guardian of Earth, and Mothra is the peacekeeper or the negotiator between monsters. She's the one who keeps the alphas from fighting each other. And you know what, I really do love this idea. This, in my opinion, will keep everything balanced. You have a guardian of humanity, you have a guardian of Earth, you have a guardian that keeps the Titans in check, and you have a guardian that keeps the alphas from fighting each other. This to me is a good balance. And my hope in Kong vs Godzilla, or Godzilla vs Kong, I hope Godzilla recognizes Kong as an alpha. I hope Godzilla sees Kong as an equal, even if they have to fight, even if it means it's almost a fight to the death. But they both still live in the end. But if there is going to be one definitive winner, and again I hope Kong wins, but if Godzilla does win, then I will respect the results. I will be disappointed if Kong loses, but again I will respect the results of the fight. And even if Kong was to die, which I hope he doesn't, I still would be carrying on watching the MonsterVerse movies. I mean, for all we know, after Godzilla vs King Kong, we might actually get Gamera in the MonsterVerse, or other monsters from other series, or movies. And you know what, I'm actually looking forward to that if that happens. If we're going to have a shared universe where all these different monsters are coming from different movies and series, then I am up for it, even if King Kong was to die, or lose against Godzilla. I would be upset, but I would still carry on watching the MonsterVerse, simply because we will have more monsters. But again, I hope Kong wins. And again, I don't hate Godzilla, I respect Godzilla. I mean, it's the same with other verse battles, like Gamera vs King Kong, Goku vs Superman, Naruto vs Ichigo, Freddy vs Jason. So I'm a fan of Gamera, Goku, Ichigo, and Freddy. And even if my favourite character was to lose, using the right statistics, then I'll be okay with it. But sadly, Death Battle got it wrong with Ichigo's power. And that isn't me being butthurt. And I'm being sincere. You guys get the idea. I am being sincere. I mean every word what I said here. I'm not one of those YouTubers who will just say something in order to get more views or more subs. I'm one of those YouTubers who will be straightforward with everybody. And even if I was to say something that was unfavourable by a large amount of people, I wouldn't care what anyone thought of me. Because at the very least, I'm being honest. I'm being truthful and honest to my audience. Let me give you guys an example. I'm one of those people that truly hates the series Code Geass and Lelouch. I made a video series about why I hate the series Code Geass and Lelouch. I go into detail on why I hate the series Code Geass and Lelouch. And when I made those videos, I almost got an even split with a ratio. So I must have pushed a few buttons with the fanboys who loves this series. But at the very least, I was honest with my audience. And that's the best thing that a YouTuber can do for his audience. Be honest. Don't be fake. Just be honest and tell the truth on how you feel. So yes, I've made it perfectly clear that I like to be sincere and honest with you guys. Now that that's out the way, I want to get to the meat of this video. And again, it's about how toxic the Godzilla fanbase is. And I know for a fact that there are toxic fanboys in every single fanbase. I do acknowledge that. In fact, it's not exactly the toxic fanbase that bothers me, because I just love how passionate the fanbase is towards their characters or their favourite series or movies. And they'll say anything in order to protect their favourite series or character. And you know what? That's fine. In fact, I absolutely enjoy how toxic they are. I mean, it's like the Goku vs Superman fanbases. I just love how we just keep on arguing and bashing the other fandom's character. And you know what? I've accepted that. It's the same with the Godzilla fanbase. They go on saying, oh, King Kong's just a big ape. He doesn't have any powers. King Kong doesn't stand a chance against Godzilla. And they go on shitting on King Kong. And you know what? That's perfectly fine with me. All fandoms have this. I love their passion and love for Godzilla. There's no problem there. However, there are a few things that really bothered me when it comes to the Godzilla fanbase, when it comes to Godzilla vs King Kong. And yes, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some Kong fans out there who's probably in the same boat of what I'm about to say, but from what I've seen in the comment sections in some videos, I've seen people comment saying if Godzilla doesn't win in his fight against Kong, then I'm saying goodbye to the MonsterVerse. And there is a few comments like this. If Godzilla loses against Kong, then I'm not watching the MonsterVerse anymore. If the studio who makes this movie makes Godzilla lose against Kong, then I'm not watching anything else what they make. The Godzilla fanbase has more fans than Kong, so Godzilla should win. And that is the main thing that really ticks me off when it comes to the Godzilla fanbase. Again, I can accept that the Godzilla fanbase will shit on Kong when it comes to a verse battle. It's like when Superman fans or Goku fans shit on each other, or when Naruto fans and Bleach fans shit on each other. Fanbases can be biased when it comes to their favourite character or series. I have accepted that when it comes to versus battles. That is 100% fine by me. But when the Godzilla fans say, oh, if Godzilla loses, then I'm not watching any more of the MonsterVerse movies. And I also hate how they think they're entitled for Godzilla to win against Kong. Oh, Godzilla's got a much more bigger fan base, so he should win. Okay, I'm going to say this to the Godzilla fans who think this way. Only because the Godzilla fan base has a much bigger fan base doesn't mean that your character is entitled to win. And even if Godzilla was to lose against Kong, that means you shouldn't rage for it, okay? This is going to be a movie, not a verse debate, like Goku vs Superman or Naruto vs Ichigo. That is what the internet is for. In a movie, they are telling a story. And only because they're telling a story doesn't mean the writers or directors or the producers or so on has to bow down to the bigger fan base. It's up to the creators of these movies of what they want to do. And even if Kong was to win against Godzilla, that doesn't mean you should rage for it. Okay, it's like the Bleach series, for example. The Bleach series was cut short because the studio wanted to end the manga as soon as possible. And at the end of the manga, the creator of the series made Ichigo and Horihime hook up and have a kid. And loads of Bleach fans didn't like this. Many Bleach fans wanted Rukia and Ichigo get together. Hell, there was even fans burning their manga of Bleach because they didn't get the characters that they wanted shipped to get together. This is true, look it up. As for me, I was okay with it. I liked how Rukia and Ichigo were just very, very close friends. I was okay with that, and I was also okay with Orihime hooking up with Ichigo. In fact, I was hoping that Rukia and Ichigo wouldn't hook up, simply because it would have been too obvious. You know, like the first girl that you see in the anime and the first boy you see in anime, sometimes, or most of the time, it's usually that. The first girl and the first boy you see in any anime, okay, not all anime, but you get what I'm trying to say, almost always hook up at the end. And for me, I thought this was going to happen because I've seen it time and time again, and it was becoming obvious to me. And when I saw Rukia hook up with Renji and Ichigo hooked up with Orihime, it took me by surprise and I was happy about it. Only because they're the first boy and first girl that you see in an anime doesn't mean they have to hook up. They can just be really, really close friends to a point where they would help each other without thinking about it. And I was happy about that. But the Bleach fanbase was raging about it and they was burning their manga, all because they didn't get the results they wanted. And you know what? I find that petty. Because here's the thing, when it comes to a story, it is not up to us what should happen and who should die and who should be resurrected or who should betray who and who should become the good guy, who should become the bad guy and who should hook up with who, and in this instance, who should beat who. That is not up to us. It's up to the storyteller who is telling the story. And here's another thing I want to bring up. I hate the fact that some writers or some movie makers are pressured into changing things so the majority of people will be happy about it. And you know what? That shouldn't be the case. I mean, let's just say for example that Kong did win his fight against Godzilla. Just for example, that would be his choice. But he was pressured by the studios or a large amount of the fans into changing it so Godzilla would win. I mean, would you guys really be happy about that? That you threatened or forced or pressured somebody into changing something, that they put their heart, soul and passion into something just so you would be happy about it and you got the results you wanted? I mean, here's the thing. Let's just say, for example, that they decide to make a Goku vs. Superman movie. For me, I would be ecstatic. And of course, I would love to see Goku win. But that wouldn't be up to me. It would be up to the writers who's making the movie. I mean, if Goku was to win because they chose Goku to win, then that's great. I'm happy about it. But if the same thing was to happen to Superman, like they chose Superman to win against Goku, then I'd be happy with that too. I mean, I'd be disappointed that my boy Goku lost, but I would be 100% happy that these two would share a screen together. I would be happy to see these two fight on the big screen. And even if Goku was to lose, that wouldn't matter because two of the biggest icons and heroes was sharing the same screen. We got to see them fight. We got to see them in a story together. And I would be happy with that. However, it does depend on which Superman and Goku that they're using. I mean, there are versions of Superman that can always beat Goku. And there are versions of Superman that Goku can beat. It's like, for example, let's just say, for example, that they had Cosmic Armor Superman share the big screen with End of Tournament of Power Goku. Who do you think is going to win? And obviously, it's going to be Cosmic Armor Superman because he is the most powerful version of Superman. Well, one of the most powerful versions of Superman anyways. There is no way in hell Goku can win against this version of Superman. I mean, it's the same with Godzilla. There are loads of different versions of Godzilla. The original Godzilla, Shin Godzilla, Godzilla Earth. I know for a fact that there is no King Kong that can actually beat Godzilla Earth. Godzilla Earth is freaking huge. And there's also Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla is scary and he is very, very powerful. And again, I'm pretty sure there isn't no King Kong that can beat this version of Godzilla. It depends on which versions you're talking about. But this is Legendary's King Kong and Godzilla. These two monsters, King Kong and Godzilla, in the Legendary film series are different Godzillas and King Kongs. They aren't going to be the same Godzilla and King Kong from the old movies. They are completely different monsters. This is Legendary Studios' Godzilla vs. King Kong. It's not Godzilla Earth, it's not Shin Godzilla, it's not Zilla. This Godzilla is completely different from the other versions of Godzilla. And this Kong is different from the other King Kongs. So they're not disrespecting the Godzillas and King Kongs from different movies and series. They are going to be telling a story of what they want to tell. And if Kong was to lose, then that's fine. I'll accept the results. And it's the same with Godzilla. If he was to lose against King Kong, then that's fine. And even though I'm going to be on Team Kong, for me, I will be happy to see King Kong versus Godzilla. It's an update remake of the original King Kong vs. Godzilla. It's two icons sharing the big screen. It's a crossover, and we should be happy about that. Okay, let me ask you guys something. Have you guys ever seen the film Misery? If you haven't, I highly recommend you guys go and watch it. I'll just give you guys a summary. It's about this novelist who gets hurt in a car accident and a woman found him and she takes him back to her cabin and she finds out that he is her favourite novelist and he stays a few nights with her and she goes looking through his things and she finds the final book of what he wants to print and she finds out that one of her characters is going to die and she goes completely nuts saying, "I don't want her to die, I don't want her to die," and she breaks his legs and tells him to rewrite the story so she will get the result that she wants, and she burns the book he was working on. All of his hard work all disappeared. All the story that he loved and put all of his passion into was all gone thanks to this crazy woman. It was the story that he created It was his passion that went into the story, and he loved making this story. But thanks to this crazy obsessed fan, all of it was gone, and he had to rewrite it just to make somebody else happy. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there were fans like this in real life that would chase down their favourite author and make them tell a story that'll satisfy them. And you know what? There has been fans out there who has been sending death threats to writers, producers, directors, and creators of shows they like. Death threats, harassment, stalking, you guys get. I mean, look at the show Steven Universe. The Steven Universe fans even go after their fellow fans. Like there was this one time where Steven Universe fans harass a fanfic artist into attempting suicide. And you know what? That's pretty damn messed up. But you know what? Again, I'm going off track. This video is a message to the Godzilla fans. Now, let me go back to the comment where they said, if Godzilla loses his fight, then I'm not going to continue watching the MonsterVerse. Now, there is a few things I would like to say to people who is going to do this if Godzilla loses. If you guys are going to stop watching the MonsterVerse movies because your favourite monster didn't win the fight, well, you know what? That's up to you. You can do whatever you want. No one can force you guys into watching something that you don't want to watch. However, I find it very, very petty that you guys will just stop watching the MonsterVerse because you guys didn't get the results you wanted. The fact that you are ready and willing to give up watching more MonsterVerse movies is ridiculous. Because even if Kong was to lose, I will be looking forward to watching more MonsterVerse movies. Simply because there are infinite possibilities of what they could do with the MonsterVerse. And you know what? I don't know what they're going to do in the next MonsterVerse movie, but rest assured, after King Kong vs. Godzilla, I will be continue watching the MonsterVerse. And do you guys know why I'll be continuing watching the MonsterVerse? Because I'm hoping they'll bring in more monsters from other series and movies. I've said this in my other videos, but I'll say it again. I hope Gamera becomes part of the MonsterVerse. I would love to see Gamera, King Kong, Godzilla in the same movie. For me, in my opinion, I think that these are the big three of the giant MonsterVerse. 4 if you count Mothra. I would love to see Gamera in the MonsterVerse. Maybe have a fight with King Kong or Godzilla. Or maybe Godzilla could fight one of Gamera's enemies. Or maybe King Kong could fight one of Godzilla's enemies. Or maybe Gamera could fight one of Kong's enemies. Or there could be an alliance. There are loads of possibilities of what they could do here. And it isn't just Gamera I hope they put in this MonsterVerse, but I hope they put in other monsters from other series and movies, like the giant bird from the Giant Claw, or Reptilicus from, Reptilicus, or put in Zilla from the animated series, etc, etc. You guys know what I'm talking about. There are loads of giant monster movies out there, and I'm hoping one of these days that will be a reality. Can you guys imagine all these giant monsters sharing the same universe from different movies and different series? I mean, how cool would it be if Godzilla went up against a Rudagon, or the 4 Alphas going up against the Giant Claw? That, in my opinion, would be the most awesomest thing ever. I mean, who would complain about this? But sadly, we've got people out there that's ready and willing to drop the MonsterVerse series because they didn't get the results they wanted. So hold on, let me get this straight. To the Kong and Godzilla fans, the extreme ones, you guys are ready and willing to drop the MonsterVerse series, which has loads of possibilities of bringing in more monsters and crossovers from all these different movies and series, just because your monster didn't win. Are you guys serious? You guys are going to drop something this awesome and has loads of possibilities, all because you didn't get the results you wanted. And you know what? I find that petty. I'll say this again. I can take the fact that fandoms are going to shit on other fandoms' favourite series or favourite characters. I mean, come on, it comes with the territory when it comes to verse battles. Again, I'm fine with that. For me, I just love the passion that both sides have for their characters or movies or series or whatever. It's like supporting your hometown football team or country's football team or whatever sport you're into. I am 100% okay with that. And I love getting into heated debates when it comes to versus battles like Goku versus Superman. And only because I'm a Goku fan doesn't mean I hate Superman. I really do respect Superman. I see him as one of the greatest fictional heroes of all time. Goku and Superman are two sides of the same coin. It's the same with Godzilla and King Kong. They are both sides of the same coin. I read somewhere that Godzilla was inspired by King Kong. King Kong was the first, or one of the first, giant monsters. And it's all thanks to King Kong that Godzilla exists. So to all you Godzilla fanboys who is shitting on Kong, you guys owe it to King Kong, because if it wasn't for him, Godzilla wouldn't exist. So if anything, to all you Godzilla fanboys out there who is shitting on Kong, even though you're entitled to, shit on him and bash him and say that King Kong doesn't stand a chance against Godzilla, you guys should be loving King Kong. Not only was King Kong in one of the greatest movies ever, but he also inspired Godzilla. Doesn't Kong deserve a little bit of respect for that? That he was the inspiration for everyone's giant lizard? Because if you ask me, I think so. Now, I'm going to say this one last thing. To those of you who might drop the MonsterVerse because your monster didn't win, or might send death threats or harass the people who went into making King Kong vs. Godzilla or Godzilla vs. Kong, guys, Don't do that. Don't go around threatening or harassing the people who went into making King Kong vs. Godzilla or Godzilla vs. Kong. It's just not worth it. You guys will be hurting the chances of us getting more content. Okay, let me give you guys an example. Let's just say, for example, that Godzilla vs. Kong was a good movie and was a success, but your favorite monster didn't win. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Godzilla fans. Let's just say, for example, that Godzilla didn't win against Kong, and then you started to complain about it on Twitter or Facebook or even on YouTube, or even threaten the writers who made this film. That wouldn't look good for the Godzilla or Kong fans. Throwing a hissy fit will just hurt future movies. Let's just say, for example, that the movie was a big success, but at the same time there was a big backlash because Godzilla didn't win, and everybody kept on complaining about it and complaining about it and complaining about it, and the writers or directors or producers says, okay, we don't want another backlash like this, so let's just give what the fans want, for Godzilla to always win. I mean, do you guys really want that? For the writers and producers and directors to change their ideas just to suit your needs? Because a backlash like this could easily affect great movie ideas. Or even worse, they could stop the MonsterVerse altogether. And all because of your selfishness. I mean, there are millions of Kong fans and Godzilla fans who don't care about the outcome. They just want to see Kong and Godzilla fight. And also, there are fans out there who might be looking forward to seeing Gamera or Zilla in the MonsterVerse. But if they do cancel the MonsterVerse because of this backlash, it'll be your fault for ruining chances of seeing more monsters in the MonsterVerse. And you'll be ruining other people's fun. There are Godzilla and Kong fans out there who don't give a crap who wins or loses. They're just here to see monsters fight. They are here to enjoy themselves, and it's the extremist fanboys who will ruin it for everybody. So what if Godzilla or Kong loses in a fight? You guys should be happy that both monsters was on the big screen together. Two of the most iconic giant monsters sharing the same screen in the modern day. I mean, what more do you want? All I'm going to say is try and be more open-minded. Try and see Kong in a different light. Try and see Godzilla in a different light. These are two of the famous giant monsters of all time, and we should just enjoy the movie. Well, I'm done with my rant. What do you guys think of this video? Was I right? Was I wrong? Who's your favourite monster? King Kong or Godzilla or another? Or is there anything else that you want to add? Please leave comments in the comment sections below. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out. Thank you guys for watching, and if there's a series you want me to check out and review and give my thoughts on it, or if there's a top 10 list you want me to do, or any reactions or responses or rants on anything geeky, just leave links and comments in the comment sections below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. And if you guys want to follow me on my social medias, I'm on minds.com, Twitch, Dailymotion and Hatron, Reddit, BitChute, aka the new YouTube, DeviantArt, Discord, VidMe, Gab, Twitter, Tumblr, Patreon, GoFundMe, PayPal, and my other social medias are down there in the description box below, so if you want to go and check them out, please do. And don't forget to subscribe and share this video. And please go and check out my new skeptic channel, Gypsy Freak. It's also down there in the description box below. Peace out.